What up, what up? Welcome in everybody to another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, this show is always started by being transparent and didn't do a show yesterday. Overall went 2-2, but did squeak out slight profit based on the unit sizes. The best bet, Houston first half minus 16 and a half, covered by the hook. I know some people lost because of that last second 3-point shot who got a worse number, and that sucks. Western Kentucky first half plus 3.5 was good. The two losers was Western Kentucky full game plus 7.5, which felt like a bad beat almost. And then Western Kentucky plus 240 to win the game. So profitable day yesterday and seeing things really well. I think I've won 24 of my last 34, and we'll try to keep it going here today. Today might be a record quickest show ever because I personally don't like when it's 1,000 games on the NBA slate for one day. I prefer if we could just have a nice healthy balance. 3 here, 5 here, 13 games for I don't like days like this, especially when all the teams have had a break. I like consistent action. So we'll see what we can do. What up, Carry On? Cash got in the building as well. Christopher Chapman ready to make some money. Casey says Josh Hart questionable for personal reasons. Interesting there. And my guy Dia in the building as well. So let's get to it. It's gonna be rapid fire here today. I guess before I get started, let me hit the water real quick. Cause it's gonna be rapid fire. So um Brian, before I get started, actually says, "Hey, what's up? Look at the joint splash. It's kind of like the old office pools, right?" Yeah, I did put a link. I do have one like that. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do on Splash, but I did start a NFL pick'em contest. The link is in the description to this video, and we're just picking, who's gonna win each game for the whole week. It's $20, winner take all, just like an old office pool. So if you want to be involved, the link is in the description. Yeah, James Bond, too much cheese. You already know. You've been around. And Brian says he's in. Love to see it. All right. And I think I'll start doing that every week. I think the pick'em contest is, I mean, I would do it. So I can understand why people would like that a little bit more than the tiers contest. NBA. This is how you know it's gonna be rapid fire because I don't even have individual banners. Detroit and Utah. It's only way I'm playing this game is if I'm betting player props, and I'd have to either look at Cade, whether it's his assist. I mean, rebounds assists is what 16 and a half. Rebounds assists has been good. I think he averages like 17, but he's had 10 plus assists in a lot of games lately. So the 9.5 number, if you still have it, I'd recommend that. If you have 10.5, I'd probably combine the rebounds and assists with Cade. For Utah side, might look at Clarkson to have some success. Um, but those are the ways I'm looking in that game. Charlotte and Washington. And first class says Cade double double. Yeah, I definitely think that can hit. What up, Brett? He says he finally gets a chance to catch the show live. This is gonna be a little bit of a different show, but I'm glad that you could tune in. Charlotte and Washington. This is a pass. I want nothing, absolutely zero to do with this game. So we'll go ahead and just skip that altogether. OKC and Orlando. This one, OKC opened up 4.5 and it went up to 6.5, and the total came down about a point from 211.5 to 210.5. I mean, OKC coming back from Vegas. I feel like them guys was partying out there. That's what I really feel like. Orlando just chilling, getting a break, sitting at the house. Um, they've been playing good basketball, and we know they'll play good defense. So I lean towards Orlando actually in this spot plus the points, and I can understand why the total went down. It's two really good defensive teams, and SGA's kind of been in a little bit of a slump lately. Maybe you could look at Hardenstein again. I'm not sure if I would rather do just rebounds or, you know, add something else. Maybe just rebounds. But those are the only ways for me to look on that game. Christopher Chapman likes the Magic on the money line. Says they don't even need no points. Appreciate you sharing that. It's a nice juicy one. Chicago and Boston. Um, Giddy looks like he's questionable for this game. For the Celtics, Porzingis and Hauser, game time decision. I guess Old Faithful, Vucevic over his threes or Vucevic points. I feel like those both have been good. I'd be interested in the status of Porzingis. I mean, I like to usually look at Horford a little bit more, but Porzingis is out. Maybe I can play on Tatum to get a couple more rebounds. And this game in general should be played at pace. We know how Chicago likes to play. They have been playing better defense lately, but against Boston, I don't think that, they're going to be able to stop them. So the total did come down 5.5 points. I would only be playing it over. Um, and from a side perspective, I don't really want to be involved. There goes Carry On. He says he likes those Tatum rebounds and the Vooch three. So we on the same page. B Daddy says you and J Money live at the same time. I mean, there's replays for both shows. I might end before J Money. That's how fast I'm about to go. Um, so let's keep going down the list. Brooklyn and Toronto. It's a one-way ticket for me. I mean, it opened Toronto -5.5 and went down to 4, but I'm not betting Brooklyn. For one, they sold already. They're telling us they're not trying to win. That's how I feel with getting rid of Schroeder. There's no Cam Thomas. It's just I don't. Those are the two guys that I was trusting for the Brooklyn side. I don't really want anything to do with the other guys there. For Toronto, they could get Scotty Barnes back in the lineup, and I just trust them to play hard for 48 minutes. And I think that they're still actually trying to win, even though they have a worse record. So it would only be Toronto for me. I think they're a little bit of favorites for a reason in that game. As far as props, don't really feel strong about any. That last game, B Daddy likes the first half over. Let's keep going. Golden State and Memphis. There was a little bit of stuff going on in that last game, so I think this one should be a good one to watch. Memphis did open -3.5. They're down to 2.5. Injuries. Let's take a look. Will Schroeder play for one? Schroeder is probable, so he should be out there. They look like they'll be without Moody. You did have John Morant questionable, Marcus Smart doubtful, Huff, Gigi Jackson, and Williams all out. Um, I would really want to know the status of John Morant because if he's not out there, I mean, why is Memphis even favored? I think that Golden State is more than capable of playing a close game, if not winning outright. I'm betting something for Memphis. I feel like, and I think I heard my guy Dream say this, but Jaren Jackson Jr., I know he's had some good games versus Golden State. Um, Point prop probably went up since John Morant's status is in question, but he's been in like the mid 20s to 30 points, I think, the last few times he's played this team. So I lean towards his points. On the flip side, kind of uncertain who to play on for Golden State. So I'll just leave it at that for this one. Bro, Sab, he says, what up, Skee? Western Kentucky yesterday, brutal loss, covering whole game until the end. Bro, just stupid turnover after turnover after turnover. Yeah, they absolutely could have won that game and should have covered. It was definitely a tough one. Carry on like Scotty Barnes over 1.5 threes. Definitely could see that. ED 10 plus says B Daddy. Casey says, don't play no Warriors props until the rotation is cut. Take your word for that. And Carry On does like Jaren Jackson Jr. over 27.5 points and rebounds. I think that's a really good bet. Seems like a low number. I'm not going to lie. Seems like that number should be a lot higher. Is that an alt line for that? Because if his points are 19.5, or I think I saw it even go up to 21.5, that means he's only expected to get what, 6 rebounds? That seems kind of low. Next game, we'll go New York and Minnesota. This one's a good one. Opened up Bulls -2. They're now 3. And this is what Rando going back to play his old team. Cat going back to play his old team in Minnesota. So I think both of those guys will want to come in and show out. I could see Julius Randle having a big game, um, like he wants to show up when he plays his old teams. I've seen it versus the Lakers. I've seen it a few times. So Julius Randle on his PRA or maybe just points and rebounds would be something that I would look at. Um, Carl Anthony Towns. Also, I mean, you could look at PRA, but I'm just gonna roll with the rebounds. Rebounds over 12 and a half. He's cleared that I think 9 of his last 10 games. He's averaging like a little bit under 14. I mean, you just got to get to below your average versus your old team. I think he's gonna be snatching them things tonight. So I like Cat over 12 and a half rebounds. That's one that I did play. And from a side, I mean, if Minnesota's at home, I guess I'll give them the slight lean. They have been playing some really good defense. We'll see if they can do it again here tonight. But I feel better about Cat than anything else. The bookie killer likes the Knicks. Also likes those Cat rebounds. Cash guy says took the Knicks money line. Also took Cat to have 30 points and 12 plus rebounds. Brian likes Cat rebounds and assists. He likes Josh Hart is questionable now, but he likes him over 10.5 points. And Diaz says that prop is up to 13.5 now. Uh I mean he's been I feel like he's been getting like 15-ish lately, but I'm gonna just double check. Let me just double check here. Cat. He averages 13.9 and lately 22, 19, 15, 16, 15, 19, 12, 14, 15, 16. So I still think it's playable at 13 and a half. I think he'll get closer to that 15 number. He's been pretty consistent with that. Everybody betting a little bit of Cat, and I can't talk anybody off. Brett says, are we forgetting about somebody? What about Dante over 7.5? I do think I'll like it more when he goes back to New York, but I can't talk you off. He's another guy who should be coming to play tonight facing this former team. Carry on likes Mikal Bridges. Everybody likes this is the game of the night. This is the game everybody likes, and I can understand why. Double revenge, few player, triple revenge, I guess. 3 players in this game. Maybe it's an over game altogether. The total did go up from 212.5 to two as high as 215, and I would agree with it. Rockets and Pelicans, I want nothing to do with. Dallas and Clippers. I'll be real with you. A lot of these games I want nothing to do with. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip down to I just want to mention this, and I'm curious what you guys think. Denver and Portland. This one, the total open 229. It's up to 235. Braun is game time decision. Aiden is game time decision. So is Benton. The Nuggets have been shooting lights out, I feel like, the last couple games. And I was thinking there could be some regression there. Do we trust the Nuggets to play defense? That's the biggest question for me. And I'm not quite sure. I mean, last 5 games they are number 12 defensive rated team. The Blazers, though, second worst defense. Their offense has been lacking too, but they haven't been getting any stops. So it makes me nervous. I was wanting to come in here and bet the under based on some regression there. But if we can't trust the Blazers to play defense right now, it makes it tough. Maybe the play is Blazers team total under. That looks like 113.5 right now. I mean, let me take a look real quick. What has Denver been? I mean, they gave a 129 to sack, 98 to the Clippers, 111 to the Hawks. So 2 of the last 3 have been better defense. But besides that, they've definitely been giving up that number. Portland has been struggling to score. I mean, they stayed under that 113.5 number 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of their last 5 games. This one is a tough one. I lean under. Maybe it's Blazers team total under, but that's just the way that I'm thinking about that game. Casey says she thinks it should be points in that game. D Bookie Killer likes the Blazers. A lot of different opinions here. B Daddy likes Murray assists. Carry on likes Michael Porter Jr. over his PRA. A lot of different ways to look at that game, I guess. But that's what I was looking at. That's what I was trying to get to the window with. I didn't make it. Last but not least, Lakers and Kings. Opened up Kings -3.5. They're now 4.5 or 5 point favorites. This one, LeBron is game time. So is Anthony Davis. I believe they're both more like probable. No, LeBron is questionable. AD is probable. Still no Hayes, Ando, Christian Wood, or Hood. For the Kings, you have Herder, Murray, and Sabonis all game time decision here tonight. So first thing that comes to my mind is De'Aaron Fox usually kills the Lakers. I would probably be looking to bet on his points or something like that. I would think about Malik Monk versus old team. He's been playing well too, but I don't know. Those two guys, either De'Aaron Fox points, Malik Monk points, maybe even both. I know that they can have their way with this Lakers defense. Um, and outside of that, it's not a whole lot that I would like to do with this game. First thing I see, this is interesting. I've never seen a prop where it says free throws made, but Carrion found a free throws made prop. He's betting on Sabonis. He's also betting on Monk's assists. People want Monk's assists. That is interesting to me. I think of him as more of a shooter and scorer. But Fox or Malik Monk, those are the two guys that I would be playing on that game. And then that's NBA. There was a college game that I'll share with you guys, talk about real quick. So let me pull up the odds screen just to make sure stuff doesn't move too much. And it's moving. Yeah, it's moving. Maybe I moved the line back down. But I want to talk about Chicago State and Grand Canyon. It did open up Grand Canyon minus 28 and a half. It went up to 31 and a half, but now it's come back down. I see it as low as 29 and a half at some shops. Um, this one is interesting for a few different reasons. I have a query that backs it up. I don't really want to read the query, but for the main thing is like they lost this team in the prior season. They're not playing good basketball. They're a huge road dog. They kind of want to avenge that time that they lost at home. But in general, just looking at this game, you have a Chicago State team that has not won a game yet. So I can understand, everybody says they're trash, they're sorry, whatever you want to say. They have not won one game, but they have not been underperforming as far as the market is concerned, and that's what we're here for. They've covered four of their last five games, and a few of those teams clearly better than them, and they're still able to cover the number. You look at Grand Canyon, I feel the opposite about them. I feel like they are underperforming. Last year, this is a team that went to the NCAA tournament. They won that first round. They lost the second game to Alabama. Um, but they were expected to be a lot better than 6-4 record that we're looking at right now. This is a team that's covered two of their last 10 games, team that is off back-to-back losses, and a lot of it has to do with their best player. He's been in a little bit of a shooting slump. So you look at that, and one thing this team does well, one thing they do well is get to the free throw line. But I mean, you're not gonna cover 30 points just by going to the free throw line. That's not how you win by the big margin. You guys know in basketball, or at least I say, you win by big margin by shooting the three well, defending the three well, and they're in the bottom third of the country in both of those categories. So you add that all up, and you ask yourself, this is a team that's supposed to win by 32 points. No way I could do it for my money. I'm gonna go the opposite way. Chicago State is covered the 31 and a half that I got the last five meetings versus Grand Canyon, and I expect them to do it again today. So Chicago State plus 31 and a half is in my pocket. Last but not least, let's move it on to a little bit of Thursday night football. And first thing I thought about was, I was trying to get back to my player props and go maybe Herbert over his pass attempts because the Chargers in general have been passing a lot more. Since the bye week. They've gone from pre-bye, it was averaging 23.3 pass attempts up to 30.8. The number for tonight is 32 and a half. And Denver has allowed that 9 of their last 12 games. Denver also top 5 run defense. Chargers are minus Dobbins. So Chargers should have to pass more. I really was considering Herbert over his 32 and a half pass attempts. But I still think I got to roll with the Chargers in this game. For one, Thursday night games always favor the home team in general. Um, Short week travel, etc. For that road team. You look at both of these teams lately, and I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me because the Broncos, they'll say Broncos just been winning, they're hot. they haven't really been playing anybody. One or no, none of their last four opponents are over 500 when you look at them right now. Chargers, they've been the opposite. They haven't looked that good, but they have been playing tough competition. I think they've played the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Buccaneers. Like they've been playing tough teams. Now they face a Broncos team who, in my opinion, is not as good as their record. Last time these teams met, Chargers were up 23 zip in the fourth quarter. I know Broncos tried to make a little bit of a comeback, but they were up 23 zip and complete control of the game, ended up winning. Dobbins, he was a big part of it. He was able to run on this Broncos team that game. They will be without him, but they're coming off a game where they got embarrassed. I'm expecting them to come out with really good effort early and often. So, Chargers, I mean, both teams need to win for this playoff wild card, et cetera, et cetera. But Chargers, I mean, Broncos win and they got the wild card. Chargers, they need a little bit of help, even if they win tonight. But they control their own playoff destiny. If they win two more games, they're in. So I think they'll, start that off with a win here tonight on Thursday night. That's how I feel about it. So let's take a look at the chat real quick. Um, Take a look at the chat real quick, see what you guys think about anything I had to say there. What up, Jose Perez? B Daddy likes Bo Nix over 21.5 rushing yards. Brian H agrees with me on that football game. What up, Nets Bets? Appreciate you reminding everybody to hit the like button. Christopher Chapman says, as a Raiders fan, I hope they tie. B Daddy likes Herbert to throw no interceptions. Carry on going lad over 66.5 yards. Couple guys liking some rushing props for Bo Nix. Interesting. This one looks like a ladder because that plus money. Mike says under. And Cash God also agrees with that lad receiving yards. So good stuff in the chat, y'all. We got through a little bit of everything. Now, before I go to best bet, before I do that, let me shout out a couple things. Always want to give some love to my guy, UCapper, and his site, The Money Baller. Um, I use it pretty much every day. It's just a one-stop shop for you to get all the information you need to bet these games. It's color coded, so you can see it easily. Gives you situational stuff, trends, really whatever you need for professional sports. So if you would like to check it out, there's a link in the description. You use promo code Skee, you'll get 50% off your first month, and I think that's well worth it. Now, outside of that, I do have to. Well, you guys know. You can find all my work at wagertalk.com. And I've won what I say, 24 of my last 34 bets in all sports. Really seeing everything well. So you guys know you can check out all my work there. Last but not least, let's get to this. And this will take us into our best bet as well. Share. Boom. So Splash Sports. For new Splash players, if you use promo code PROFIT, for every $10 you play, you get $5. So play 100, you get $50. And you'll see it come out as you play the things. But why Splash Sports is good? You can use Splash Sports for a lot of different things. Number one, the quick picks. You're playing against other people instead of a house, and that's good because if you're a kind of person who likes 5 pick or 4 pick, you don't got to get every single leg right to still cash. You just have to do better than everybody else. And it has the best DFS multipliers for 4 pick, I believe, is 12-1. And I think 5 is what, 25-1, something like that. So that's a good reason to take advantage. I did want to mention, and I'm blanking out a little bit there, but I did want to mention two things. One, we have a tiers contest again. And what that pretty much is, like a DFS contest for NBA. If you want to be involved in that, there's a link in the description. Two, I started it this morning and I just thought, I like to do it. So maybe other people might like to do it. And Brian, I think it was in the chat, said he likes it. We're going to do a pick 'em contest for NFL, which you pretty much just pick the winner for each game. $20, winner take all. And the link for that is also in the description. So all of that at Splash Sports. And for my best bet for the show, I'll rock with the player prop, Karl Anthony Towns, Splash Sports pick of the day. Karl Anthony Towns over 12.5 rebounds. Some people said it went up to 13.5. I still think that's good. He averages those 13.9. He's cleared, I know he's cleared the 12.5, 9 of his last 10 games. And I'm pretty sure he's cleared 13.5, 9 of his last 10 games. He's in a revenge spot versus old team. We're going to trust Cat to get closer to 15 rebounds tonight. So might want to throw that in your Splash Sports quick picks lineup for tonight. Appreciate you guys for tapping in with me. A lot of good cappers, a lot of great people in the chat. So I will be with Kyle a little bit later. We'll probably go a little bit more in depth on these games, me, Chris, and Kyle. And then I'll be back tomorrow. Rob Vino's up first. We'll talk a little bit of NBA, maybe some other sports too. 5-star, follow him up with some college football and NFL. And then we'll have the OG crew like we always do after that. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Best of luck on all your action. Peace.